Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer. I'm going to give you update 5, and this update, I'm going to do the beginning and the ending today. That's how oddly enough, that's how I always do it. But I'll do the beginning and the ending today, and I'm going to show you what I have done right now, and I'm going to work on it today, and I'll probably work on it some tomorrow, and I'll finish the shots tomorrow. So, let's get into it. Okay, everybody, here we are. I didn't change any of this structure right here, simply because I think it may work for what I'm going to do, the loop that's going to be there. I did, however, change out this, well, actually I changed out every stringer beyond that. I changed out all of those all across. Anyway, you can see that I brought these out to 24. I don't know if they'll be 24. I'll probably wind up cutting them off. I went ahead and ran string. By the way, this looks goofy because this wall right here is angled. Because you can see out the window right there, the door that goes into the house. I could not run a full 8 feet all the way out there. So this wall tapers right here. You might be able to see the bend in it. But it tapers right there from 8 feet down to 7 feet down there at the far wall. That's why all this looks a little bit goofy. But anyway, you can see that I had to notch a hole in that one to run the wires through. I tied this one and this one, these four together to make a rigid corner. I put a little piece to support the outer edge of the foam over there. These pieces are as long as they're going to be. This piece might wind up being cut off. I don't really know how that corner is going to work. As well as this corner right here. I have it tied together right now, but it's also tied together there. So I may wind up cutting this corner. I have a feeling this one will cut off, this one will cut off, and then it'll come back out to 36 inches here. Because that'll give me a little more aisle width here. But I'm not sure about that until I get the foam on, get all the track laid out, cut the foam the way it needs to be cut. You can see that all these stringers are now in at 16-inch centers. I re-verified the 16-inch centers. You also notice that I did go ahead and drill a hole through. I decided to not drill any other holes through and run my wiring through there because if you ever want to take out a stringer, you have to disconnect all the wiring. This rope light, which is not LED by the way, but it has a little screw-on end here to extend it if you want to add another one on. And it just so happens that I had a hole drill that was just smaller than that screw end. So I took the screw end off, I could run it through, and it holds it pretty darn straight. I measured all the holes in the same place. So when I put the shelf underneath there, I'll have some light under there so we can see what we're doing. That may be tied into coming on whenever the layout's turned on. I don't know. The bracing back here is pretty much just like it was. I did add the brace in here at the 4'6", which will be the end of the layout. This one might cut a little bit. I don't know. There's going to be a curve right here in the fascia, so either this one will be extended or something. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll find out when we get that far. You can see my shelf. My area that's going to be my shelf is kind of a mess right now. I haven't taken down the backdrop yet. But what I did do is I did cut this off down there. And I brought this in to make this will be a, like I said, this will be an L-shaped shelf around here. So this is no longer angled. It's all straight, ready to go. Another thing I did is I had to go in here and level all of these. So you can see that right in here, I had to put in some cardboard until I could level all these. And I leveled every one of them. They were all low on the outside edge. Probably because my leg might have shrunk some, or I don't know. Maybe it never was level. I don't know. But instead of raising the leg, let the leg be settled just like it is and just raise these outer edges just a slight bit. But now it's pretty much all level. You know, if we look down here, it's pretty good. So anyways, all of these sections are leveled up. What else could I show you? Oh, today I'm going to try and take the 110 electric off because it was being fed from over here on the other side of the room like I showed you before. I'm going to put in some new plastic boxes on the back. I think 3 along there and maybe 1 over here. Replace the box that's over here. And I don't know, I need to hook up my bus wire. I think I'll screw it up underneath before I put the foam on too. But I'll just see how far I get. But let me show you what's going on in the garage. Okay. Me and several guys that have posted on here have discussed back and forth. I was going to use 1-inch foam because that was all I could get for inexpensively here. One of the building supply places had the blue Dow foam, and it was 50 bucks a sheet. I wasn't going to spend 50 bucks a sheet, so I was going to do 1-inch foam. I went to Home Depot today to get the 1-inch foam because I knew they had it because we bought it for the club there. And lo and behold, they had a whole rack of 2-inch foam. And on the website it said they didn't have any. So, $29 a sheet, I bought 5 sheets. I don't know whether I'll need 5 sheets. But of course, if you're going up and down 2-inch 2% risers and you want a 2-inch height, or even if you want a 3-inch height, you can always use a piece of 2-inch and a piece of 1-inch, and I have some 1-inch. So anyways, the 2-inch is much more rigid, so I decided to go 2-inch. It's going to raise the level of layout up by 1-inch, but that's okay with me. So anyways, Home Depot. I did find out that they did have it, at least at our Home Depot, 29 bucks a sheet. And I'll just show you here. I have these containers and stuff out in the garage. Of course, there's some Christmas stuff and everything left in here. But anyway, let me see what I can get done today, and we'll get back to this video. And tomorrow, for that matter, and we'll get back to this video. Okay, everybody. Sunday morning. I think I left off with I got all of these stringers in, but anyways, I used a Mr. Clean Magic eraser on some of these mountains, but as I started to take them off, it was taking off part of the white weathering that I did, so I left it. I will put mountains in. I think I'll put more mountains in or touch up whatever I need to whenever I get to that level. I was successful in getting you remember the paper oil well thing that was over there on the wall? I was able to get that off successfully. The rest of this scenery will be okay down the way. Now, it looks like I haven't done anything in here, but yesterday I was quite busy with things that you just don't see. One of them you do see is I did cut the backdrop off there, and I've got this wall all the way around now naked. I've got to fix this trim right here. It has an awful lot of paint on it. I'm going to try and scrape it off or sand it off so that I can repaint that wall and repaint that trim. I haven't done anything with the tabletop, obviously. All my tools sitting in one spot over here. And what I did do is I did get the rope light in. I don't know if I showed you that already. I also got the 110 wiring moved. Got it plugged in right down there. Comes up. I left this 110 box that I had right here. There's one down there right where it turns, and there's one in here that I replaced. This one here at the end. I also apologize for swinging you around so abruptly. I also got one put in right here. And I have this tied up temporarily with a tie wrap, and I have extra slack in it because this is going to get moved out to the fascia at some point. So if I turn this on, you can see that my lights come on, and this would in effect turn the layout power on. I don't have the air conditioner plugged into that plug down there yet, but that will be coming eventually. What else? Oh, as you can see, I've got the bus wire reattached and run around where it needs to be. Also, another chore was desoldering all the wires that I had soldered to this bus wire. But I left some slack in it here and here because that is where the control box is going to be. But you can see that I have it around, tied up all the way around to this point here, which I have the capacitor and resistor to, which Digitrax, or I think it was Digitrax, somebody said that you should put on there. I don't think it makes a hill of beans on this layout, but nevertheless, it's there. I straightened up all the wiring and tied up my, these are 12 pair wires, by the way. You can see my 12 pair connector block here. And I'm going to swing you back here and go over something real quick. This is the template that I made of that corner back there. This will go onto the foam, and I will cut the foam to that curvature, stick the foam up here, and start with the first 4x8 sheet here. Only because it's the only square corner in the room. So, aside from that, I took my 16 pair cable that was laying on the floor, I put another block right there that you can see, and punched down the 16 pair there. And I'm fixing to do some more work today, hopefully get some foam on, so I'll try and get a picture of that.
Back to school.
Okay, gang, I live in a town of over 100,000 people, and I cannot find a jigsaw blade that is just a blade. They're all saw blades. So what I did is I bought this Bosch long blade and ground all the teeth off of it and tried to put an edge on it, a little bit of an edge on it. I'm going to see how this works for cutting the 2-inch foam. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and guys have pretty good success with knife blades. A cheap hot wire will not cut 2-inch foam. It's just too thick. But anyway, and as you can hear, I forgot I had my iPad on playing music here. So anyways, I'm going to give this a try today on that curve, and we'll let you know how it goes. Okay guys, I showed you the picture of my little blade. I've been using it and it works like a champ. So I'm going to cut this piece with one hand here and show you how it works. And there you have it. No muss, no fuss. I cut this edge with it, and you can see that it does a little bit of melting. This edge, I ran it kind of fast and it kind of melted a little bit, but that's I'm not worried about that because I left this purposely big because I don't know where I'm going to need to cut it. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little demonstration of the cutting, and I'll take one more video before I end it today. Okay guys, this is what I'm going to use on top of the stringers and in between the sheets. It's Gorilla Glue heavy duty construction adhesive, and it says for foam board. So I've read a couple things on YouTube, people using it, and this is what I'm going to try. Okay gang, this is what I'm doing on the seams. Well, I'll explain what I'm going to do underneath later. But anyway, you can see that I put adhesive on the tops of every one of the stringers on the piece that I'm going to put in. And I am inserting a few 3-inch screws. I don't know if you can see that one back there. Right here, I drove it down in, and it just keeps the board from moving. You know, I can grab it and it doesn't move. It's amazing how quickly that adhesive grabs to this foam. The minute I set it down on there and push on it, it seems to grip, and you know, it's hard to move even when you do that. So anyway, here we go. Okay everybody, here's the last of what I'm going to show today. I purposely cut this piece big because I don't know how the loop is going to fit here, and I will go back and trim this in later. The stringers are pretty far in there, but that's all one sheet back to that seam. All one sheet coming around to this point right here. Another sheet all the way to here, and then this is where it gets a little bit goofy, but I'm okay with it. These stringers over here happen to be a little bit higher than these over here, and I didn't notice it until I already had it glued up, but that's okay because the foam is very forgiving. Once I make the loop over here, it's going to go back that way anyway. The only thing that's going to sit here is the turntable and turntable tracks, and if I need to, I'll take a sander and sand that out to whatever I need. a belt sander. It'll be really easy with the foam. A little bit of sagging back there in the back, but that'll be taken care of once I get the risers in. And besides that, it's going to cut that corner. Those are wide radiuses. It's going to cut that corner. So anyways, I'm not too worried about that. I can fix all that if I need to. The rest of it is really level. And for those naysayers of foam, I don't think it gets any sturdier than that right there, with the exception of plywood. But it's pretty darn sturdy. I actually could get up there and lay on it, but I'm not going to. I was actually leaning on it to get in a couple of these back corners. By the way, this piece here I had originally cut to go in that notch that was already there, but it just wasn't flying, so I went back and I marked it and pulled it off and cut it. But anyway, I thought that it turned out real well. By the way, this section right here is obviously sticking out further than it needs to, and it's going to be trimmed back when I trim this, get this loop trimmed out here. So anyway, I think for today, I'm going to call it quits. I've had all the fun I can take out here today, and I got such a mess I've got to spend tomorrow cleaning up. Next thing to do probably is get some paint. Paint this wall, and then I've got the holes patched up. I noticed I missed a hole over here. I also think that I'm going to get a quarter round trim and put it up that, and then paint it. I don't know if I'll paint it blue or paint it white, but a quarter round trim. And then when I get ready to do, or when the mountain and stuff is in here with the loop on it that comes back, the fascia board will come around. It'll curve around this edge right here, sharp curve, and then when it gets here, it'll be a 90-degree corner and back there, and it'll be however high the scenery is, and then that'll be painted on this side. So that is the game plan, and that's it for today. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed update 5. As I said in the video, I think that's probably it for right now. I'm going to let all this glue dry for a couple of days at least. My risers and stuff should be coming soon. The next thing is, and the beauty of Kato Unitrack, okay, I have the layout plan, I have all the piece numbers, I have everything. I can go ahead and stick all this track together and lay it out here on this entire layout flat. Then I can go along with a felt tip pen, and I can mark it all out. Then I know exactly where my risers go. I can go in there and put in all the risers and everything. So that's gonna be kind of a task, but as usual, I'll keep you guys updated with that. And anyway, thanks for watching.